الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Yesterday I introduced this topic that I want to spend the next 10 or 12 days speaking about. The topic is the life of Isa alayhi salam, Prophet Jesus, in the Quran. So inshallah it's going to be what I like to call a topical commentary. You can do commentary of the Quran, you can look at the Quran verse by verse. You start at the beginning and you take one verse after another from Surah Al-Fatiha and then Baqarah, and like that you go in order. And you go wherever the Quran takes you. There's another time when you put that big puzzle together. Yesterday I gave you that image of a puzzle where you have these stories, the Quranic stories are scattered throughout the Quran. Sometimes they're concentrated in certain areas, right? So like the story of Isa alayhi salam, of Maryam alayhi salam, it's concentrated in the chapter of Mary, right? Chapter 18, chapter 19. But then Ali Imran also has some of the story, and it's scattered throughout the Quran. There's mention of Isa alayhi salam in many different places. So the challenge is to bring it all together, right? So that we can come up with a bigger picture and see what the whole story was like all together. Let me get everyone to settle down so we can concentrate. So what I'd like to do is to take the first episode of this story today. And like I mentioned yesterday, to know about Isa alayhi salam, we have to go a little bit back and know about his mother. Right? Say the Maryam, her birth is very significant to Isa alayhi salam. And there are a couple of verses that we have in the Quran that talk about her conception and her birth. So I want to share those with you. We're going to do a little bit of an experiment with technology. Inshallah it's going to work to our benefit. If not, then we'll try to smooth them out by tomorrow. But I'm going to share these verses with you with a translation, and then I'm going to speak a little bit about it. Actually, on second thought, let me tell you the story first. Because I think if you have the story in your mind, then reading the verses will make a little bit more sense. The story of Maryam's birth starts with her parents. The chapter number 3 in the Quran, surah number 3 is Ali Imran. Right? Imran was her father. Okay? And her mother in the Quran is simply known as Imra'atu Imran, the wife of Imran. Right? Imran never has a role to play in the Quranic story. The wife does have a role to play, but only Imran's name is mentioned, and the wife is referred to as the wife of Imran. And she's mentioned a couple of times in the Quran. From biblical sources, not from the Bible itself, from Christian sources, the names for these two parents of Maryam are Anne, right? Known as Saint Anne now. And the father is known as Joachim. And I did some searches online to see how it's pronounced. And I saw that even Christians were they're kind of scratching their heads to see how is this pronounced. It's spelled Joachim. Right? So there are different opinions about what it means. But it seems to be derived from something that's similar to an Arabic word. Right? The Jo part is an anglicized version of Yahweh, the name for God. And then the Akim part seems to be related to Iqama. We have Yuqim or Muqim. Because the translation of Joachim is God establishes, or God kind of like strengthens him. Right? Which translates as Allahu yuqimuhu. Right? So Allah yuqim, Yahweh yuqim, something like that. I'm not a linguist, I don't know Hebrew, but just from all the things that I saw in different books, it seems like that's it's related to that name. Anyway, that's the name we have from biblical sources, but the Quran calls him Imran. So it's uncertain whether Imran is definitely his name, but whether Joachim was also a title that was given to him or not, or what the story is there, that's not very clear. So we have these two parents. In Arabic, Anne is called Hanna, and Joachim is known as Imran in the Quran. Now Imran seems to be a prophet. We have a tradition, a hadith that says that he was a prophet. He was definitely a righteous person, He was also clearly a powerful person in the Jewish hierarchy, well respected, had knowledge, had station in the community. And there's indication in the verses, and I'll show that to you later, that he received revelation. Okay, so he was a prophet. Hannah and Imran, they didn't have any children and they were old. Imran was given revelation by Allah, some sort of news of a child to be born to him. And it was promised that this son of yours will be a great man, a pious man. He will cure the sick. He will be able to cure people who are congenitally blind, cure the leper, raise the dead, and do these sorts of things. It was prophesied to Imran that your son will be able to do these sorts of things. He shares this news with Hannah, with his wife, and his wife is very, very pleased, very excited, of course, that's wonderful. We're going to have such a righteous son from our progeny. So she, in prayer, she turns to Allah and she dedicates her son, her child, to God's service. Okay. Now they have this. It's not clear to me whether it's a common practice that they had. It seems like it must have been a common practice where you could turn over your child to the service of the temple, right? Basically, renounce your rights to your child. The parents have a right to care for the child. That's actually a right. It's also a duty, but it's also a right that the parents have to care for their child. They have a right to tell the child what to do and to be obeyed by that child. That's one of the rights that God gives parents over their children. But the parents, of their own volition, they can renounce that right and they can hand over the child to the care of the temple. Right? Devote the child, right, to take care of the temple. It could be as menial as just cleaning. Right? For instance, like sweeping is mentioned in some of the commentaries. They would sweep the temple. They would probably manage the sacrifices that were offered at the temple. They just be servants for the temple. So she decides to do this. She makes this nadhr, right, a dedication, like an oath, that my child who's in my belly is dedicated to God's service in the temple. Now there's an indication here, the fact that she's doing this independently shows that Imran is probably not alive anymore. And we have traditions that corroborate this, that he died. Right? Shortly after, sometime between conception and when this child was born, Imran passed away.